Not what this is. Town halls are my favorite format for you.
Right.
You know, for people who are observing the process and for the voters. But it's not a flex for me, right? Because I need 2, 3, 4 iterations to really break down answers and get into it. That's not what this is about. So I accept that, and that's fine. The second thing is my father, may he rest in peace, loves Stan Lundeen. May he rest in peace. But that was my father's running mate. Chris Hahn and I go a long way back, so he knows.
So did we all.
Let me ask you something, though. No, so he was a good man. He was a good man. Rena and Rob are too young to remember these guys, and lucky for you. But Rena, let me ask you something. When you watch, as a Republican, of course you have your misgivings about Trump, so you are supporting Harris. How worried are you in watching Vance tonight that he balances out the ticket in a way that presents a real risk to Harris on Election Day?
I'm glad you asked that question, Chris, because just within the past couple of weeks, I have been talking to people inside the Beltway and outside the Beltway about how Trump is feeling for them. And more than anything else, what I'm hearing is that Vance is finding his footing. Finally, months later, it seems we have seen a more polished, I'll agree, but not very slick senator in Vance. I think the thing about him, what I find most interesting is that he seems most comfortable tonight. I mean, look at how he was even mirroring your body language. As a longtime strategist, I can tell you, he really played it well tonight. In terms of how he wanted to come across, he gave it right up. He shot all. He made all the shots he came to make tonight. And frankly, with language
he is a pro.
Well, you know, no, you know what? I want to push back on that. I don't think he's a pro. I think this summer, the guy that landed up at the RNC was a guy who wasn't really sure of himself, wasn't sure how he was going to make up for that record where he was bashing Trump for years, like many of us have. Look, I'm coming up on a decade of having opposed former President Donald Trump. But what I heard tonight were a couple good phrases. Heal the divide, president for all Americans. That stuff I did not think he was going to drop tonight. Good things for him to drop. But again, the emphasis on abortion policy was a misstep for him. He needs to understand that friends like his, not just those who went to Yale, but those who grew up near Ohio, like I did in West Virginia, who have friends whose parents were addicts like his mother was. We don't buy this, JD. We think you need to be a little bit more authentic, and you need to not act like the guy who went and got big and rich. You need to speak to the common man's problems. So again, tonight, like, I don't know, I'm mixed up about it, Chris. Truly, he did an okay job. He didn't knock it out of the ballpark, but he didn't really shoot himself in the foot like he's been doing for weeks.
Hey, Chris,
but
I wanted to know, can I jump in here?
It's a town hall. Yeah, go ahead, Rob. And also, I want you to give me perspective on something. Take it wherever you want. But I also want your perspective on something as someone who's really active on social media and as a conservative and on the younger side. Why was there such an expectation that I was going to try to beat his ass